Hello and welcome to the journey. I want to give you an update on our path forward as we begin to plan to reopen. The governor of the state of Indiana has lifted some of the restrictions, and so we're going to follow those guidelines and we're going to reopen. We're going to do that on May 10th. That's this coming Sunday. And so I want to let you know a little bit about what you're going to experience and some of the guidelines that our church is taking as we reopen. First thing you're going to notice when you come into the church is that our foyer is going to look different because it is going to be empty. We've moved all the chairs and tables out of the foyer, and so what we're doing is we're going to eliminate the possibility of us violating social distancing guidelines. And so what we're going to do is the foyer is going to be empty. We won't have any coffee, and we're going to do our best to get together, but discourage all the congregating and everything that can come when we happen to be in the foyer. So you're going to enter the building and the foyer is going to be empty, and then we're going to ask that you come immediately into the sanctuary to have a seat. One of the things that you're going to notice in the sanctuary when you come in is that we have arranged it differently. We've got the seats set up for social distancing so that we can keep you safe while you're in the building and keep all of the guidelines according to the health standards that we're looking at for today. So we're going to be together and we're going to be worshiping. And one of the things that I want to let you know is that we're doing this because we value the togetherness of God's people. The church isn't the building, we know that, but the church is the gathering of the people, and this just happens to be the place where the body of Christ for the journey gathers. So we're going to be gathering here, and what we're going to do is there's going to be more information on our website. So we're going to encourage you to look through that, to read a little bit more about the situation and the circumstances in which we're opening the church on May 10th. Before I get to some of the details of the timing and how we're going to work that out, I do want to just encourage you to follow the guidelines for safety for yourself and for others. One of the things that we want to continue to follow is the scriptural principle that we are our keeper of our brothers and sisters. And these practices aren't restrictions, but rather they're guidelines so that we can keep one another protected. Because in the body of Christ, we are to work together to help each other. And so here are some of the guidelines that we're going to ask you to do so that we can continue to worship in a safe and healthy environment and to protect those that might be more vulnerable to the virus and the things that are going around today. We're going to ask that you stick to the CDC guidelines of the at-risk group. And those of you that are watching this, you know if you're in that at-risk group, whether it be to your age or whether it be your health circumstances. But if you're in the at-risk group, please stay at home. They've told us that things are not quite safe for the at-risk population to be out and about in public. So we want to follow that, and I want to take this time to encourage you to stay home if you're in the at-risk group. Even though we're going to be worshiping on site, we still will have our video messages as well. So you're not going to miss anything as far as the messages and things like that. We're still going to do it video-wise. I know we miss you personally, but that day's coming soon. We just need to be patient, and we need to take this slow. So if you're in the at-risk group, we're going to ask you just stay put for a few more weeks, and we'll see how all this continues to work out. Another part of what we're looking at is that if you're symptomatic, if you're sick, if you're not feeling well, if things just aren't quite right with you physically, please stay home. We want you to be healthy, and we want your fellow attenders to be healthy. And so the best way to do that is just to follow these guidelines. So if you're not feeling well, if you're in the at-risk group, stay home. And the third one is that if you've been exposed to COVID-19, please follow the recommendations and the guidelines and not venture out. You need to keep that quarantine because our community needs you to do the right thing. So, saying all that, we do want to let you know that we will be open for public face-to-face meeting if none of these guidelines apply to you. And please don't see them as restrictions, but see them as good practices for one another. So what we're going to do is, as I showed you, the foyer is going to be empty. We won't be having coffee. We're going to have 2 services, and this will all be online. If you need to go and check it out later, you can do that at our website. Our first service is going to be at 9:30. So at 9:30, at 9:20, we're going to open the doors. We're not going to open them too early, just simply because that tends to lead toward people congregating and being together, and the temptation to not stay within that 6-foot radius that they've asked us to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to open the doors at 9:20. Then we're going to have our first service, and the first service is going to go from 9:30 to 10:30. At 10:30, we're going to dismiss you. And as that first group leaves the building, then we're going to close the building, get it all cleaned, and then we'll get it ready for the second service, which will be at 11 o'clock. The doors for the second service won't open till 10:50. So if you come a little early and you find that you can't get in, don't run away, don't be upset, don't be offended. We're doing that for your health and for your safety, because we want to get the building back in shape and clean for the second service. So again, that's 9:30 and 11 o'clock, and we will have the building uh, clean between them, and we do need that time between services to help clean. So that's what you can expect when you come in. You're going to have a foyer that's going to look different. You're going to have a sanctuary that looks different. And the other thing that I want to let you know is we welcome our families. We want families to be part of our worship and part of our community. But as we're putting this plan back together, we also want to move slowly. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, and we don't want to get ahead of what is safe. And so for the first 2 weeks that we're open, we will not be having children's church. Your family's still welcome. Your kids can come and they can join us here in the sanctuary. But we need to work with our staff. We need to work with our teachers and how the cleaning process is going to go and everything that's going to be involved, because kids in the rooms don't lend themselves to social distancing. So we will not be doing children's ministries until at least May 24th. So those are the things that you need to know. There's a lot more information about how all of this is going to unfold on our website, but I just wanted to give you this video update. We're excited to get back together, but we want to take it slow. We want to do it right. We want to do it safe, and we feel the responsibility to be our brother's keeper. So check out some of the links that are on our webpage. We'll be mailing some of this information to our church attenders, and we look forward to the day that all of the guidelines can be put aside and we can worship safely together. But until then, we're going to be safe. We're going to follow the guidelines, and we're going to do our best to protect you as we worship together. But let me just say again, we're opening not because of the importance of these walls. We're opening because of the importance of the togetherness that God calls his people. But we want to do that safely, and we want to do that in a healthy manner. So we're going to move slow as we build toward that time in which we can all gather together again and celebrate the love of Jesus Christ and what he means to us and to this world. So until then, we'll keep plugging along, just keep being faithful, and may God bless you. We're praying for you and your family. Have a great day.